Hey, welcome back everyone. It is time for another red hot cover call video. Well, hey, look, today we're going to talk about my trade desk, where I'm at. It's May 2024. We're already about 11 days in, and we are knocking down some $16,147. I'm going to show you how I'm getting to that number, and we're also going to talk about some of the dividend-paying stocks that I'm buying and I plan to buy. Now, that's going to be my trade desk update. What you're going to hear after that is a short video for which I sent to my members. I sent them an exclusive video where we use CleanSpark for a poor man's cover call trade. But I don't just send out trade alerts, I talk about them. And in this case, I did the trade, and then we did a video talking about why I decided to do that now. Talked about the entry point, because here's the deal. The entry point for almost every new position you take is the most critical. See, we always want to put ourselves in a favorable position. If you don't know how to identify good entry points, then you'll always be getting in less favorable situations. I show my members all the time how we get involved in favorable positions so we can be more successful. So I want you to stick around. That CleanSpark video is happening after I talk about my trade desk and where we're at here in May. If you want to buy dividend stocks using covered call writing, you need to be a part of what we're doing here. If you want to retire early using the selling premium strategy, well, that's what I do, and that's what I show you. So what I need you to do is subscribe to the channel. It's right there. It's free. I come back every week, show you timely and relevant trades so you can up your game. So if you want to retire or use the selling premium strategy to pay the bills, live the good life, or like me, take all those cover call profits and buy dividend-paying stocks, then you need to subscribe to the channel. So hey, look, if you like this video today, bang that like button. It lets me know you like what I'm doing. Now, what I'm doing is this. I'm showing you my trade desk. We're going to look at some of my trades for May 2024. Here's the recap for the year. You can see we are generating some $232,000, and it's only May 2024. And in fact, we're only 11 days in. This is unbelievable how we can use the covered call writing strategy and mix in some cash secured puts. And I'll tell you what, we generate cash flow. We take that cash flow and we buy dividend-paying stocks. This is not new. This is not rocket science. You can do it. I literally started with one stock. I learned it, and then I did it. You know, most of the people that come to me saying, look, man, I joined your membership so I can get motivated to get off the bench to actually stop watching others have success. And I am absolutely proud of them because that's what it takes. Right? You can watch YouTube videos and TikTok videos all day long. You're watching other people have success. What I want you to do is learn, then get your experience, and then I want you to buy in and do it. Because that's how we go from watching other people have success to actually doing it. And that's what I hope for you. So where I'm at, in just the 5th month of 2024, we have had some phenomenal months where we broke a record in February, generating $34,000, selling premium, writing covered calls, selling cash secure puts. Then we came back in March and knocked it out of the park with that $73,000 month. We come back to earth a little bit with that $35,000 month in April, and here we are in May, just absolutely rolling. I mean, if you take that number and extrapolate that out 3 times, because we're basically a third into the month of May, we're looking at potentially another phenomenal month, just moving that number up. Every single month, I try to beat the last month. For what I'm looking to do, look, I may not be able to beat March this year. That was a huge month. If I can beat February, which was my last record, which now can be a more typical bar, well, April proved that. We had February 34, April being 35, and maybe this month, May, can be above 35. And I'll take that. That's what we're looking to do. Get better so our numbers continually grow. And when we extrapolate that out 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, you know, this number gets much bigger because we get better. And that's what I'm hoping for you. So let's see where we're at right now in May. You can see I've already closed what seems to be some 25 trades. We are rolling. In fact, I think I have about 7 to 8 trades on the books now, and I have about 3 to 4 stocks sitting on the sidelines. We're not trading all of our positions because sometimes they get a little loose and we're down on the positions. Right now, that's where I'm at with 3 of my big trades, but we'll get them back in the game. While we have those sitting on the bench, you can see we're putting everything else in play, and we absolutely are working it. And I love that because we're having success, and success drives me to have more success. And you're going to hear about that CleanSpark trade right after we get finished with this portion of the video, because all I'm looking to do is find great entry points. When I get involved in new positions in stocks, we look to make great decisions and have a favorable outcome. That CleanSpark trade can make me $1,000 in the next 28 days. And if my shares are taken away, you're going to find out how much I can really make using the poor man's covered call. Now, speaking of that poor man's covered call, you can see we use it quite a bit in my trading. I've heard a lot of people say that they don't use the poor man's covered call anymore. Well, I'm going to tell you, they don't know how to manage it. I've become an expert at managing it because what a lot of people don't understand when it comes to poor man's covered call is understanding the delta with regards to your Leaps call option. And many people out there want to use less money buying their Leaps call option. Well, that's where they get kicked in the nads because they'll use a $100 stock. They'll buy a Leaps call option to write a poor man's covered call because they've seen some cat on YouTube telling them all about how they can make all this money and only spend a fraction. Well, what happens is they buy a Leaps call option that might be a 70 delta, and next thing you know, when the stock pops, they don't understand that their Leaps call option trails it by 30%. So when the stock rockets higher and they got to buy the option back to close out the trade or have the market maker close it for them, well, they're paying a 1-for-1 move in the stock, and their Leaps call option did not track it properly. That's the problem with all these people who use the poor man's covered call and they fail. At my membership, I've created all the calculators and spreadsheets that help you with that. And if you don't use the initial trade setup when you do your poor man's covered calls, you are absolutely breaking golden rule number 1. You can be highly profitable with the poor man's covered call, and when you're a part of my membership, you see it all the time. I literally do poor man's covered calls, maybe more than the standard covered calls. Look at all the purple there. These are poor man covered call trades, and what I want you to notice is, look at all the green to the right. This is not hocus pocus. We are absolutely knocking it down. And I'll tell you what, we do this month over month. And when you're a member, you see all my trades. What you see on YouTube are people that absolutely want to talk about the poor man's covered call because it's so exciting. You don't spend much money, right? Well, that's the problem. You don't quite understand it, so you find yourself in non-favorable positions. I set my members up for favorable positions. Why? Because I put my own money in these trades. See, they do videos about stuff they may not do. Not me. In fact, the trade you're about to see, I just put $7,400 into that trade and sent it to the members. So look, my trade desk is blowing up because what I do is this. I buy stocks, I write covered calls. We take all of that covered call profit and we put it into dividend paying stocks. Do you see this right here? These are all dividend paying stocks that I buy with these profits. This is a simple strategy to build wealth. We go from the trade mindset to the wealth mindset real quick. And I don't know if you noticed, but this is my covered call trading. This is my current monthly dividend income. My goal is to generate $10,000 a month collecting dividends, and we are well on our way. I've had some phenomenal months, but I want consistency, just like I want consistency in my trading, where I want to make $25,000 a month writing covered calls, selling cash secure puts. Well, I want $10,000 to $12,000 being dumped into my account every single month, me not doing anything. When you see that I've made $16,000 in May already, you have to tack on another $10,000. So I'm already at $26,000 for the month of May, and we are literally only in the 11th day. I have some 11 more dividend-paying stocks going to deposit money into my account. You follow me? This is what we talk about. And we talk about this at the membership all the time. In fact, every time you see a trade, you see the dividend stock I bought. Hey, look, at the end of the day, it's all about going from the trade mindset to the wealth mindset. because when our time's up, when we're literally standing at the top of the mountain, I want to look back and see the dividend garden that I've planted. And that dividend garden's going to be my legacy. It could be your legacy too. You just have to start planting those trees. And that's what we do. In fact, you'll see in the video I'm going to show you here that I did for the members, we're going to take all that money from that CleanSpark trade and keep buying dividend paying stocks. And before I let you go here, that is something that I'm doing now. Recently, I've taken on a poor man's covered call trade with the absolute 100% idea that we're going to use PayPal, and what we're going to do is buy the YieldMax dividend paying stock PYPY, which uses PayPal to write call options against it. So we're going to actually do that ourselves. A little differently, we're going to use the poor man's covered call, but we're going to generate crumbs month over month over month. And you can see in this case, I put on this very easy swing in poor man's covered call trade where we can make $585, and we really didn't invest that much. And we're going to buy PYPY, and we're going to do this month over month over month, and we're going to see how many shares we can buy of PYPY with all of my poor man's covered call trades using this Leaps call option that I purchased for this trade. See, if you're a part of the membership, you'll see all that. And what I want you to do is in the description below, you get your 1 free month offer. I want you to get on board because we have so much coming. We have so much coming at the membership. You are absolutely missing out. So where are we at? Since 2016, which is about 8 years ago, I've generated some $785,000 using the selling premium strategy. This year, I'm already at 178, and we're only 5 months in. And if you divide that by 12, that's $14,800 a month. I'm up cash on cash 40% versus 10% on the S&P 500. Using the selling premium investment strategy and dividend investing, we can beat the S&P 500 hands down. People get paid millions of dollars to try to beat the S&P 500. We do it every single year, year over year, because we sell premium, and that's our edge. When you sell premium, you could generate 3 to 4% monthly. And that, my friends, is the absolute edge where we can beat Wall Street and actually create wealth. Now, hey, look, I'm going to turn it over to him. He's going to show you a members video where we're talking about CleanSpark, the poor man's covered call trade, and what he's going to do with all that covered call premium profit. So stick around. I know you're going to like this one. Hey, welcome back, everyone. I want to talk about CleanSpark. You know, I've been using CleanSpark now for about a month, and I absolutely love it. It is a Bitcoin miner. I'm not going to profess to be an expert on the Bitcoin mining companies, but what I know is this: they just had earnings, and they are blowing it away. CleanSpark is all about having the best technology, because you have to have the best technology, because there's about only 440 Bitcoin that could be mined daily now that they recently had the halving. Companies like CleanSpark have to have the best technology. By all accounts, they do. CleanSpark just had their earnings, and they absolutely knocked the ball out of the park. The stock rallied today, and in fact, it was plus 17. And in fact, it was plus 1772, and I got caught up in that wave because I ended up buying back an option, and it fell. And it fell down to 1557, just like the rest of the Bitcoin mining stocks, just like Coin and just like Bitcoin. So this thing sold off, and I think it presents an even better opportunity to get involved. So that's exactly what I did. If you notice the sandbox this thing trades in, ever since we had that Bitcoin rally where all of the big firms needed Bitcoin to put in their spot ETFs, we get this sandbox trade with CleanSpark, and I absolutely love it because it has been trading in and around 15x and 20x. Now, I haven't seen it at 20 too often, but I love that range between 15x and 1750. This is even better because what we're able to do is use that cash secure put and or buy the shares when the stock is trading up a bit higher. and we do the in the money strike where we can actually get a little bit more premium, not much, but we own the shares, we own the risk, but then we give ourselves that downside protection. With that said, we could still pick up a very nice crumb. And of course, I leverage it up with doing about 2,000 shares. So what we look to do is make about $1,000 a trade per week if I can. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is because CleanSpark has this range that we're looking for. And right now it's going to trade at the bottom of the range. And with Bitcoin, it's going to trade in and around this number. I think 14x could be the low here. With such good earnings, we're just going to have to see. I think it holds it, but the real question is, why is it holding 14x? Do you see why this is holding 14x right now? And it has for a while? Well, if you go all the way back to the last time it set resistance and then it broke resistance, it has played in this sandbox ever since. It sets up that this is a great support and it's been using it. So I'm going to go with that. Wall Street has valued Bitcoin higher. They're valuing CleanSpark and all these other various miners higher as well. I decided to use the poor man's covered call. And if you remember, that's exactly what I did. We went ahead and leveraged with some Leaps call options the ability to write near-term covered calls. And what I'm going to do is just that. I bought when the stock was trading in and around $15.89, and at the time I thought that was a good entry point. We bought the $10 strike. We paid $7.30 for it, and we started writing our very first covered call. And what we're going to do here is this. We went ahead and picked that May 31st expiration. Now, it's going to be about 21 days. And to collect some $1,000 for 21 days worth of work, well, that's how we can use the poor man's covered call, where we only leverage $7,300, yet we're using a Leaps call option, which is an 85 Delta Leap, which means if we can put the strike prices out, then we can expect the stock to move. And by the time it gets to expiration, maybe it gets to that 715 strike. We don't have to pay back that much money to clear the trade and ultimately make some really good money on this trade. In fact, the initial trade setup for this trade potentially to make some 33%. That's if the stock finishes at 1750 on May 31st, we can close out money on the table, $2,400 for that $7,300 invested. But if they do not take my shares and the stock languishes or goes lower, well, we at least cash that $1,050 for the first 21 days. Do note, this is a September expiration. So that means we have about 4.5 to 5 months to do this. And if I only invested $7,300 and I'm able to collect $1,000 a month until we get to September, that is going to be one heck of a trade. And I'm here to tell you, to only pay 8% for such a stock that has high volatility, we will take that because we understand we're going to make decent premiums per every 3 to 4 week trade. So we have no problem paying this person the $1.41 to essentially borrow his shares for 5 months. Now it's my task to go out using these 10 Leaps call options and try to write 1 month trades, knocking down $1,000 a month. So look, the poor man's covered call can be used to simulate stock ownership. I would have had to buy 1,000 shares when it was trading at about $15.89. That would have been $15,089. I end up using half of that, and I'm okay with that. So for me, the risk isn't that much. We do pay this person $1.41. But if you think about it, my very first trade covers some 75% of that time value cost that we paid that covered call writer for me to take control of his shares. So if this plays out just like that, my next covered call, half the premium, will pay off the time value, and then the rest of it can be pure profit. Hey, look, I want you to follow this trade if you're interested, because I think with CleanSpark having this nice bottom here or something we can hang our hat on, we're going to go with it. And that's where we got involved. And hopefully that sets up for a more favorable chance the stock goes higher. And if it goes higher, we'll get out of this trade, knocking it down, using less money and making more cash on cash gains. This is going to be a beautiful crumb collector where I'm going to take all of these covered call profits and buy a dividend paying stock, adding to the monthly passive income. I'll tell you what, I have no doubt this trade could generate at least $2,500 to $3,000 in the next couple months. And I'm hoping I'll be out of the trade at that point. Hey, look, be safe, be healthy, most important, be lucky. Until next time, may all your covered calls be profitable.